So guys, we are at the final part in this little sort of pseudo mini-series. I struggle to call it a mini-series because realistically you could watch these videos in any order and it would for the most part make sense. You'd get spoilers obviously on this video. Spoilers if that's a thing with Sims builds. But we're doing the outside now of our little tiny house lot. It's just two little tiny houses. The idea was maybe best friends bought the lot together and then decided they would just make it their own little space. They all wanted their own homes, but they wanted to be close, and it made economical sense, and it's a good way to split up the lots here in Del Sol because they're huge for being stereo lots, which I'm not complaining about most of the time, but it is a little hard to be like rags to riches on a giant lot kind of thing, which I don't play like very true rags to riches, but the idea was, it's still there. We did cut part of the lot out by doing this alleyway out here. That was actually not my idea. That was here when I knocked down the house. And I opted to just follow along with a fence. I think I widened it a little bit. I put fencing around most of the lots. I did try to make it look a little more, this sounds so mean. I do not mean this the way it's going to sound, but a little more LA with some graffiti. I did initially try to hide away the, what's the word I'm looking for, trash cans behind this, but there's no matching gate, and I was a little too attached to this fence, so I just left it. But there's this little shed here. It's supposed to look kind of like a little prefab shed, was the idea behind it. This is me staring at it, trying to decide what trash cans to use. Also, you may notice there's a couple of interesting breaks in this video. There's been a couple interesting breaks in the last few videos. That is because there's a small dog that now almost permanently lives on my lap. He was a lot more independent beforehand, but we had, unfortunately, a pet race tragedy not too terribly long ago, and his partner in crime is now his guardian angel, and so he's needed to sit on my lap a lot more. So if you see weird breaks, I've tried to cut most of them out, but they just know that a very small dog is getting very many pats every time the camera stops. But the idea behind this sort of living space is obviously it's supposed to be like LA, and so it's warm out, and so we wanted a big community outdoor space that they worked on together. They each have their own little space. One has the house that's sort of focused in here, which you can see her causing issues. She lit both houses and this deck on fire in the course of building this lot. So there's a lot. I think there's a blooper at the end of this video that shows her with the firefighters after she lit this deck on fire while I was trying to take screenshots. But anyways, point being, this is in LA, and so they wanted to do a big community outdoor space because they had the big lot for it, but they wanted their own little homes and couldn't afford a house and a lot in LA, or in this case in Del Sol. So they opted to each figure out a tiny home they wanted and then put them on a lot that they bought together, and then there's a prefab shed for storage and laundry. That way too, if you liked one of the houses but not the other, you could knock one down or just take one off this lot, sort of pick and play whatever you want here. You didn't have to do laundry. Everything is centralized in that little cabin. Or if you like the whole lot but absolutely despise the fact that there's laundry on this lot, you can just murder the tiny little prefab shed. No one will know. I'll know. No, I won't know. I won't care. This deck takes a while to get where I'm happy with it, but I do like the way it looks. This lot has party place and sunny aspect. I don't usually mess with lot traits. It's not that I don't like them. I think they're super cool. I just forget about them. But so I tried to make it look like a party scene. Like, people are always bringing chairs over, they're always grilling, they're always having s'mores, things like that. So just a really fun place. They're maybe the first ones to get houses out of their friend group, and so they're always hosting, and neither of the houses are really set up for huge parties, but they both have pretty nice kitchens, so you could absolutely have outdoor barbecue style parties anytime you wanted, and it would be really, really nice. So yeah, we did that. And please excuse how I sound. I'm recording all of these at once, so if you're watching all of these at once, you've heard this disclaimer now several times, but I am in the path of some smoke from wildfires. I'm safe. There's no wildfires near me, and I'm very saddened and worried about those that are, because that sucks, and I'm very aware that I'm like one cigarette thrown carelessly from a car away from being in that situation, because I do live up against BLM land. Where was I going with this? Oh, I sound like I'm sick. I'm not sick. I'm totally fine. I just happen to have to be outside because I live on a farm, and outside is not human friendly right now. It's very hot and it's very smoky and there's lots of bugs, and it's not very human friendly right now. I do wish, this is a complete 180 from what we were just talking about, not 180, but very different. I do wish you could have different sized walls not touching each other. Obviously, I understand when they're touching each other, they need to be the same height, because that would make it really difficult for the game to figure out where floors are and stuff. But I would love to have had this shed be a little single story, and the first house that we built, the park model, which is to our right, to our left now, the little one story. It would have been really nice to have that stay a smaller wall height, but the mid-range one needed to be a taller wall height to make the loft sort of look semi-lofty. I love these lights so much, and I never ever build in a way that I can use them. One day I'm just going to pull those out first, and the deck is going to match the length of those, but I do wish we had a couple different lengths, or that just putting the poles down, it would automatically connect with lights, because they're an awkward length. Maybe they're just an awkward length because I can't build with them, I don't know, but I spent too long trying to figure out how to make them work before just giving up and going back. I don't think the deck really misses it too much, because with the fire pit on, it's plenty bright, and with the there's lights that will eventually, I think here in a little bit, get hung in the little, what do you call them, like pergola things. These are really cool. I don't know if they're candles or what they were though. I couldn't get them to turn on, so I opted to not, but I think they're supposed to be tiki torches. So those would have been cool, but like I said, I couldn't quite get them to work. Here I end up hanging floor lamps from the ceiling, which I think is really cool, and everything on player test works, so much so that she lit the grill on fire while and she lit one of the lights on fire. I had to replace one of the lights too. I had like literally just hung them. But I do really like this space. I think it's gonna be a really good hangout space for them. And it's kind of a community-based space because it's in between two houses, and with the whole like pick and play sort of aspect of the way this is built, you could delete the houses, add whatever is necessary, and it could very easily become sort of a city park. I would personally remove the hot tub because that's gross in a city park. Which, you could put a second, like a picnic table or a second grill. The shed could be swapped out for public restrooms. Where the houses are, you could do play equipment on one side and like a little walking path on the other or something. It very easily could turn into a park lot if you wanted it to, or just steal it and move it somewhere else. Honestly, like you could steal each individual part of this place and move it. No, you wouldn't miss it. It's very modular. I think it's kind of cool. I really wanted to put a palm tree in there, but I don't think anyone would have enjoyed playing this lot with a palm tree. And I tried to make this place look pretty run down. Not that I wanted it to look like I didn't take care of anything, but like if this place is really modeled after LA, there's a lot of seawater. That's very hard on things. You have to refinish things. And also it's a prefab shed. Like it's gonna take wear and tear, and it's not gonna take it incredibly well because it's a prefab shed. Here you can see I'm doing some landscaping. I didn't do any landscaping in the other videos because I didn't know what the outside was going to look like. I had an idea, but I didn't have a plan. And so I didn't want to do something necessarily that would screw up that plan. And so there are some things that needed to be finished, like the landscaping and the foundation flooring, the foundation covering, the lattice work you can see right there. Things like that. And I went a little bit sparser with the landscaping because if you're partying every day, you don't want to spend hours upon hours upon hours landscaping. Like if you have a bunch of landscaping in a party house, you have a landscaper, and the whole idea behind this was that they don't have a crazy ton of money, so they're not going to buy a landscaper. I did finish up a couple of things on both porches as well. And the one porch has concrete. I think the other porch has wood. So there are outdoor spaces you can use as well. They're pretty easy to clean floorings and things like that. But I really like how this looks. Here's the screenshots. This is moments before she lit everything on fire. And I'll leave you here, I think, so you can just enjoy. Be sure to check out the blooper at the end. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will talk to y'all soon.